it was a surprise, particularly to Jim O'Neill of Goldman Sachs, who coined the term BRIC, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, when they proceeded after 2010 to invite South Africa to become the S in BRICS. He said, it doesn't make sense to me. South Africa doesn't have the kind of population of an India or a China. It doesn't have the GDP growth rate of it. It doesn't have the kind of output, etc., etc. I think what Jim O'Neill did not understand at that moment was that what BRICS was doing was to take out a deposit or a down payment on Africa by locating South Africa within the BRICS ambit. What they understood was that here was this opportunity of this growing middle class, which was at that point growing to 300 million, projected soon to be 500 million people, this massively urbanized class, which for many people would ordinarily be problems. For Africa, it's an opportunity. It creates economy of scale. You can get your water running to one place, your electricity going to one place, one supply line, and so forth. That's what they saw. They saw the enormous opportunity in infrastructure that would arise out of that. They saw the enormous market for white goods and capital goods to be sold to that new middle class, and they saw the enormous potential of food production being aggregated around a middle class that could buy and an urban community that had a marketable system and not necessarily dispersed any longer. And so they also saw that as a proxy on having access to Africa's commodities, its investment capital for infrastructure, and the promise of regional integration as being a kind of opportunity to move into single ports and then disperse goods all over the African continent and draw goods from all over the African continent. And they saw at that point a $1 trillion economy within Africa as a whole. And so BRICS understood this, but also understood that to have the golden eggs, they also would need to feed. And therefore, the investment facilities that was set up with part of the BRICS Bank being located specifically for Africa in Johannesburg, and that beginning to move, but managing its own setbacks.